Now we're diving into a critical and controversial topic, the battle over Gaza's future after the devastating 2023 Israel-Hamas war. This isn't just about geopolitics. It's about the lives of 2.3 million people, the stability of the Middle East, and a fundamental question. Can peace be built by uprooting an entire population? Grab a seat, because this is a story of secret deals, bold visions, and a region pushing back. Let's break it down. First, some context. The 2023 war left Gaza in ruins. 90% of homes destroyed, over 47,000 Palestinians killed, mostly civilians, and nearly everyone homeless. As the dust settled in early 2025, the question became, what happens to Gaza's people? Enter the United States, specifically former President Donald Trump, who's been pushing a jaw-dropping plan. Trump's idea? Clear Gaza of its 2.3 million Palestinians and turn it into what he calls a better Monaco, a glitzy, American-controlled coastal paradise with hotels, marinas, and even Trump-branded skyscrapers. Yes, you heard that right. He even shared an AI-generated video on social media showing a futuristic Gaza with palm-lined boulevards, casinos, and a giant gold statue of himself. It's as wild as it sounds, but it's not a joke. It's a vision that's got Israel's far right cheering and the Arab world sounding the alarm. Here's how Trump's pushing this. He's been leaning hard on Egypt and Jordan to take in Gaza's displaced population, either temporarily or permanently. He's floated using America's massive aid to these countries, billions in economic and military support, as leverage. At a February 2025 White House meeting, Trump stood next to Jordan's King Abdullah and said, "I believe we'll have a parcel of land in Jordan, a parcel in Egypt." The vibe? Uncomfortable. Trump even hinted at freezing aid to Jordan, and sure enough, some funds were quietly paused. Egypt's been under similar pressure. Despite President el-Sisi calling any mass influx of Gazans a red line, satellite images from 2024 showed Egypt building a walled compound in Sinai, likely a contingency plan for refugees if Gaza's fighting forced them out. Cairo denies it, but the signs point to US urging behind the scenes. Now, Egypt and Jordan aren't budging. Jordan's foreign minister called their rejection firm and unwavering, pointing out that 35% of Jordan's population is already Palestinian refugees. Another wave could destabilize the country, reviving old fears of Jordan is Palestine. Egypt's even more blunt, warning that moving Palestinians would expand the conflict and spark domestic outrage. Both countries see this as a potential repeat of the 1948 Nakba, when hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were displaced. They're not just saying no. They're risking US displeasure to protect their stability. But here's where it gets interesting. The Gulf states, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, are stepping up with a counterplan. They're not just rejecting Trump's idea, they're offering an alternative. Saudi Arabia is leading the charge, hosting Arab leaders to draft a $53 billion reconstruction plan to rebuild Gaza without displacing its people. This Arab plan, endorsed at a March 2025 Cairo summit, aims to clear rubble, build housing, and create jobs, all while keeping Gazans in their homeland. Qatar is on board, warning that expulsion would reignite confrontations. Even the UAE, which has ties to Israel, is firm. Its president told the US that displacement is a no-go, though behind closed doors, the UAE's pitching ideas for a post-Hamas Gaza with temporary international oversight until the Palestinian Authority can take over. This Arab plan isn't just about money, it's about principle. It ties Gaza's future to a two-state solution, empowering the Palestinian Authority and sidelining Hamas. It's got ambitious ideas like using war rubble to expand Gaza's land into the Mediterranean. The Gulf's financial muscle makes it credible, but it's also a diplomatic flex. Saudi Arabia's showing it can lead the Arab world against what many call ethnic cleansing. Even Hamas, weakened by war, cautiously welcomed the plan's stance against displacement, though they're not thrilled about losing power. Trump's Riviera plan, meanwhile, is a radical departure from decades of US policy. It's not just about removing Hamas. It's about removing everyone and handing Gaza to a US-led coalition for a luxury makeover. Israel's hardline leaders love it. One minister called it a great idea. A leaked 2023 Israeli document even proposed pushing Gazans into Sinai, showing how aligned this is with some in Netanyahu's coalition. But the world's not on board. The Palestinian Authority calls it ethnic cleansing. The UN, Europe, and even US allies like France reject it. Forcing out 2 million people would violate international law and risk regional war. Logistically, it's a nightmare. Think mass roundups, refugee camps, and bloodshed. So, where are we now? Two visions are clashing: the Arab rebuild and remain plan versus Trump's remove and rebuild fantasy. The Arab plans got momentum, broad international backing, Gulf funding, and a moral high ground. Trump's plan, while still pushed by him and Israel's right, faces near universal opposition. The US seems to be hedging. Trump's team is engaging with the Arab proposal, and his envoys meeting Arab leaders. There's talk of a compromise, maybe international oversight of Gaza, without expulsion. But Israel's a wild card. Netanyahu might demand some relocation to appease his base. The stakes are huge. If the Arab plan wins, it could strengthen Arab unity, stabilize the region, and maybe even restart Israel-Saudi peace talks. If Trump's plan somehow prevails, it could fracture US-Arab ties, derail normalization, and create a humanitarian catastrophe. For Gazans, it's life or death. They're already traumatized, living in rubble, and terrified of a second Nakba. The Arab plan offers hope: shelter, jobs, a future in Gaza. Trump's plan offers exile, camps, and erasure. Here's the big picture. This isn't just about Gaza. It's about what kind of peace we're willing to build. Can you create stability by expelling millions, or does that just plant seeds for endless conflict? The world's watching, and the answer will shape the Middle East for decades.